This is the ultimate travel guide for the east coast of Australia. I spent over 6 months on the east coast. I lived in Sydney for about 5 months working, and then I went up and down the east coast traveling to all the beach towns, all that stuff, and it was amazing. I definitely recommend you going to Australia. So you're in the right place if you want to find out about the east coast of Australia. At the end of the video, I'm going to tell you about budget and trip costs for Australia. So if you're interested in that, then just skip to the end and it'll literally tell you about costs and budget, etc, etc. If you don't know me, I'm Joel. I'm a travel content creator, and if you want to learn more about travel or get inspired or anything, if you like travel, just hit subscribe. It helps me out so much. So please hit that sub. Cool. Anyway, let's start with when you should go to Australia. In northern Queensland, you have 2 seasons. You have the wet season and the dry season. The wet season is from November to April, and the dry season is from May to October. For the south of Australia, the best time to go is from November to April, as this is the best time for the most sunny weather, warm waters, so best to go then. However, expect it to be really touristy between December and February because the kids are off school and that's when most people travel in Australia. If you want to have like a more shoulder season where you've still got the warm weather but less tourists, then April and October are the best times to travel. It also can be cheaper. Another question I get asked is how long to travel the East Coast, and I would say about 3 to 6 weeks, and I know that's such a big time, but for the most people, about 4 weeks is perfect, but you can easily do it in 3, or if you're a slow traveller, you can easily do it in 5 or 6. But keep in mind, the east coast of Australia is not the only part of Australia. You've got the Northern Territory, Western Australia, South Australia, Tasmania. There is so much to see, so even if you just go for 3 weeks, you could spend another 6 weeks going somewhere else in Australia as well. I tell you what, it's starting to get pretty warm in England right now. I think we've got a heat wave on the way, so I'm gonna have some epic travel videos around England. So if you're interested, stay tuned, subscribe, because there's more stuff coming. Let's move on to transport and how you get around Australia. One of the most common and the cheapest way to get around Australia is the buses. So one of the buses that I took was Greyhound bus, and they basically are hop on hop off buses all the way up and down the east coast, but they actually go all over Australia. For 200 Aussie dollars, you can get a pass which goes from Cairns to Melbourne for just 200 Aussie dollars, and it's literally unlimited trips within 30 days and you can go either direction. Another common thing which people do is rent cars or motorhomes, or even buy if you're in Australia for a longer time, and honestly, I think that is the best way of traveling Australia. But if you're young, if you haven't got that much money, then it is probably not the best way to go because it is more expensive. But if you can, road trip Australia, especially the east coast, because there is so much to see and you can literally stop anywhere. Another option you have when traveling Australia is taking like short flights. So for an hour to 2 hours, a flight could cost just 70 to 100 Aussie dollars. I use Jetstar, which is like the budget airline in Australia. So I would recommend using that if you just want to save some time and not sit on a bus for hours and hours. Okay, so let's carry on with the route. What route should you take? So when traveling the east coast of Australia, there's only really 2 ways you can do it. It's either north to south or south to north. And let's start from south to north and let's do it that way. It doesn't matter, but let's start in Sydney. Sydney is a special place in my heart, as I've lived there for 5 months. I know the city really well. I know the best beaches, and I honestly think it is one of the best cities, if not the best city I've ever been to in the world. Sydney has so many beaches to choose from, and 2 I would recommend is Palm Beach and Manly Beach, which is both on the northern beaches, but they are must go to. Palm Beach is quite a journey if you're in the city centre of Sydney, but it is definitely worth it. There's hardly any crowds and it is the most beautiful beach in Sydney, for sure. Another thing you should do in Sydney is do the Coogee to Bondi coastal walk. It is, I've forgotten how long it is, but honestly, it's a must do. It's a classic thing, walking along the coast of the city, looking out to sea, and you've got the Bondi icebergs, which are like the lakes, the swimming pools, like near the rocks, looking out to sea. It is incredible. please just do the walk. Another thing, make sure you walk around the harbour because it is stunning. Go around the Opera House, the Botanical Gardens, and you're gonna love it. Such a beautiful city set on the harbour. Also, if you're in Sydney, then make sure you go to the Blue Mountains. It is literally just, I think, 2-hour train journey from Sydney, and if you go on a Sunday, it is only going to cost you $2.60 because they've got a special travel deal. If you got the Opera card, it's been Opal card, that's it, Opal card, I think. The Blue Mountains is a beautiful spot with incredible mountains, waterfalls, all that kind of stuff. So if you're into your hiking, all that, then go to the Blue Mountains. Stay in Katoomba, which is a town, the main town in the Blue Mountains, and you'll have an amazing time. Make sure you go to Echo Point because that's where you can see the famous Three Sisters, and you'll love it. So from Sydney heading north, we're gonna go to Byron Bay. There are so many different towns in between, but I didn't actually go to any of them, but they're just beach towns. They've got amazing beaches. All the beaches in Australia are stunning, but we're gonna go straight to Byron Bay, which is a real chilled town. It's got quite a local feel to it. It's a surfer town basically, and it's the most eastern point in Australia, and honestly it is amazing. I love it there, and it's lots of travellers there, so check it out. You'll meet loads of cool people. It's like the hippie town of Australia. Then heading further north to the Gold Coast, I kind of think of the Gold Coast like Florida, as it has incredible beaches, it's got theme parks, it's got great nightlife. It's almost like a Las Vegas to an extent. It's really cool city. It feels very modern. It's got massive sweeping beaches, tall skyscrapers. Check it out because it's worth it. It's a good visit, good times. After the Gold Coast, head to Brisbane. A lot of people say it's quite a boring city and there's not much to do, but I actually really enjoyed it, and I'd spend 2 or 3 days. It's a great place to fly into as they've got a big international airport, and head to South Bank, which is on the river, and it's got a beautiful outdoor pool where you can relax on. Then head north to the Sunshine Coast, which is one of my favourite places in Australia and is probably the place I'd want to live. It is less touristy than a lot of other spots, but it is one of the most beautiful places ever. Like, Noosa is a great place that you have to visit. They've got the Glasshouse Mountains. There is so much to do. You can go walking in the rainforest, you can do like hikes, there's waterfalls, there's so much to do in the Sunshine Coast. I definitely recommend checking it out. Keep going north to Fraser Island. You have to get there via Rainbow Beach, but it is amazing. Fraser Island is the largest sand island in the world. Go to Fraser Island, it's like a magical island. There is so much to see there and it's well worth it. I did a 2-day, 2-night camping trip there, and I would recommend doing that. It's pretty cheap for what it is and a great experience meeting lots of other people. Next, you should go to the Whitsunday Islands. The Whitsunday Islands are absolutely stunning and one of my favourite places in the whole of Australia. You get there via Ellie Beach and you go on a boat tour around the islands. You go to Whitehaven Beach, which is amazing. Like, it's supposed to be one of the best beaches in the world. It has the whitest sand, the most crystal clear waters. We actually saw some lemon sharks there, some stingrays, I think. It was actually amazing. You can dive there as well in the Great Barrier Reef, snorkeling and scuba diving, so definitely recommend doing that. Then head to Magnetic Island, which is further north in Queensland and is literally like a tropical island paradise. It's got a large colony of koalas, it's got stunning beaches. Just go there. It's a 20-minute ferry from Townsville, so it's not bad. Just go there, you will love it. Then go to Cairns. There is so much to do there. It's a great place to base yourself if you want to go diving in the Great Barrier Reef. You can go to the oldest rainforest in the world, the Daintree rainforest, and see all the incredible animals and the plants, everything, and you'll be amazed. If you head slightly further north, you can go to Cape Tribulation, which has incredible beaches, like some of the most stunning beaches you will ever see, with tropical palm trees straight into the ocean. Oh, you're gonna love it. Australia is amazing. So let's move on to budget and the prices of stuff in Australia, as that is a big worry for people, as it is a very expensive place to travel. Let's start off with hostel prices. Sorry, I'm going to read the prices off here. And just be aware that the prices are in Aussie dollars. If you don't know Aussie dollars, maybe get a currency converter and quickly convert these prices. So a hostel price is about 20 to 40 Aussie dollars a night. In cities, it is more expensive, but in other places, less touristy, hostel price will be cheaper. A private room is 60 to 110 Aussie dollars a night. Food can cost from 20 Aussie dollars for like a meal out, but it can be a lot more expensive. Also, if you have like a cheaper like fast food meal, it can only be about 10 Aussie dollars. So take that into account as well. The best way to eat in Australia is to cook your own food, as it is so cheap. You can literally get like, you can spend 2 dinners eating pesto pasta and you can only spend $1 each meal. So if you want to save money and you're on a strict budget, cook yourself, because the hostels always have kitchens most of the time, not always. So do that and you will save so much money, because eating out will literally, you'll be spending cash all the time. So cook yourself, people, save your money. If you drink, then be aware this is going to be a large part of your budget, as drinking in Australia is so expensive. If you go out to a bar, it could cost 9 Aussie dollars for a beer. So your money is literally going to be spent like that. But there is a secret ingredient which all backpackers who go to Australia try at some point. It is not nice, but it will get you drunk, and it is amazing, and it is called goon. This is basically cheap wine. You can get like 5 litres for like 15 Aussie dollars, which is an amazing price, and you can split that between 2 people or 3 people or 4, probably quite a few. But it is the best way to quickly get drunk, have a good time, but also not burst the bank. So goon is the way. One of the biggest costs you'll find traveling Australia is tours. So when you do like a Fraser Island tour, Whitsunday tour, maybe a tour to the rainforest, these are going to be very expensive. One way to make sure they're really cheap is to book them all together at like a hostel, and so you can try and get like a big discount, or wait to the very last minute and book a trip then, as the tour companies might be like, well, there's spaces, we can give you a better deal. So that is another way of getting a cheaper price on the tours. But these tours are a must do, as sometimes it is the only way to see the locations and the beautiful places. So don't miss out. If you go into Australia, you have to do the tours to get the real good experience, and you will meet so many people on these tours too. So now I'm going to tell you the daily budget of what you should have for traveling Australia. This is the daily budget which I had, which I was able to actually stick to. But if you drink, then it is going to skyrocket, unless you drink goon, because that's cheap, but it's quite hard to drink a lot of goon, trust me. Anyway, so the daily budget I would use for Australia is £60 a day or 110 Aussie dollars. You could spend a lot more if you're doing loads and loads of tours, loads of drinking, but generally 60 to 70 pounds a day, so 110, 120 Aussie dollars will do you pretty well. For a 4-week trip down the East Coast, I would budget for about 3,500 Aussie dollars. However, do have more. This does not include flights, so no flights in and out of the country, and visas do not include this price. Maybe have 4,000 Aussie dollars just to be safe, because honestly, if you're drinking a lot, that money will go out the window. But I hope that is quite a good target of what you should try and aim for to save up for. So guys, I hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions about traveling Australia, please leave them in the comments below, because I will answer them, or DM me on Instagram @JoelFriendly, and I will get back to you, trust me. Yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed that. If you are into travel videos, please hit subscribe, like this video if you found it helpful, because it really helps me out. Guys, I will see you in the next video, hopefully doing some traveling in England. See you soon. Bye.